Sister, I have two questions. The first is in Ezekiel 16:55.
In Ezekiel what?
16:55.
In Ezekiel 16. Yes.
Sister, God reproached the infidelity of the ancient people through the prophet Ezekiel. I would like, sister, for you to explain or allow me to understand verse 55 that says, "When your sister Saram and her daughters return to their former state, and Samaria and her daughters return to their former state, then you and your daughters will return to your former state." I would like to know, sister, what does former state refer to in this verse?
Here, he is comparing the people of Israel and the people of Judah. Let us remember that the people of Israel divided between Israel and Judah, and there were two kings, the king of Israel and the king of Judah. And both people equally sinned and lived a sinful life before the Lord, turned away from God. That is why the Lord had to send messages through these prophets, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, to send symbolic messages with examples so that they would listen, and really they would not understand much because the Lord did not speak to them openly in their native language, but it was through figurative language, through symbolism, through many different comparisons and examples, similes and analogies, and that was the way in which God spoke to the people, and that is why they did not understand. And so here, he is talking about a mother and a daughter, because here, in verse 44 of Ezekiel 16, he was speaking to the people of Israel and the people of Judah, and he says, "Indeed, everyone who quotes Proverbs will use this proverb to the people of Israel and the people of Judah. Will use this proverb against you, like mother, like daughter." And so the mother was the people of Israel, and the daughter, the people of Judah, and both were committing sin, and for both, there was an imminent punishment. God was going to punish them harshly, and that is why he sent all of these messages through these prophets, and that is why he is saying in verse 55, when he says, "When your sisters, Sodom and her daughters, and Samaria and her daughters," speaking of the people of those nations, those who were committing sin. He says, "You and your daughters will return to your former state, for your sister Sodom was not a byword in your mouth in the late days of your pride, before your wickedness was uncovered." In other words, that same poverty and misery that they lived prior when God called them and chose them as a people. He chose them to bless them. He made them wonderful promises. So he says that he removed them from that poverty and misery and created that people, but they did not obey. And so now the punishment was coming, that they would return how they were before, without anything, without God, without hope, without blessings, without anything, that they would remain that way. And they did, because afterward, the Lord Jesus Christ came to rescue what had been lost.